Hey guys, we're the Mile High Property Sisters. Welcome back to our channel. Today we are going to go over 5 costly mistakes that you can avoid when buying a home in Colorado. So number one is in Colorado, we have what's called expansive soils.
Yes.
So the soils have a lot of moisture in them and they have a lot of a mineral called bentonite, right? So bentonite causes the soils to expand and contract more. And with our, cold winters, warm summers, the soil is constantly expanding and contracting with the heating and freezing. So we are very prone here to foundation problem, right? Especially if the closer you are to the mountains, the more there's movement in the soil. So if you're looking at a home, especially in particular, like the Friendly Hills neighborhood, right off Sims and Quincy, kind of near where I live actually, that every single house in that neighborhood either has or is going to have foundation problems, right? Those homes were built in like the 70s, 80s, and they weren't built with today's standards. And the soil over there all it does is move. Yep. I'm telling you, every single house, I have friends that live over there, every single house needs foundation mitigation. Yes. So what our advice to you is, if you are in these areas, make sure you have the foundation inspected, not just by your home inspector. Yes. Because a home inspector they're home inspectors. They are not structural engineers. So they don't necessarily know the severity of, what's going on with the foundation. Right. We recommend, if you are buying a home in these areas, to have an actual structural engineer come out before you make this purchase to, evaluate the foundation of your home. We can because we do live in this area, we're experts on spotting these issues. And also a lot of homeowners obviously have paid the money to have their foundations fixed. There's a lot of different fixes that, anything from mud jacking to, going down and putting poles on the bedrock way down, there's a lot of fixes for it. So it's not like condemns the house, but it is very, very, very expensive. Anywhere from, I think, like my ex-boyfriend spent $20,000 fixing his house, and one of the neighbors spent $130,000 just fixing their foundation. Yeah. So it can be a huge mistake. Yeah. Your homeowner's insurance won't cover it. So know that and beware. Make sure you do your due diligence and you're with a realtor who can advise you and guide you to make sure that you're not buying a house with foundation issues. Right. It's very expensive. So important. And if you go to sell that house, it's always going to be an issue.
I was just going to say, people will run from your house. I'm sorry.
It's true. Yeah. No, it's much harder to sell. You have to provide all the documentation that it's been fixed. Yeah. So we just, recommend to really avoid that. Yeah. Save yourself that
huge costly mistake. So that's literally it's the biggest one.
In terms of something that could put you upside down in your house, like if you bought a house and then you found out it had foundation issues that cost $100,000 to get fixed, then your home is worth less, and it's all bad news. It is very bad news. If you buy into it, like there's a condo complex also in that area that I know of. These people, unfortunately, they cannot sell their condos to anyone who's hoping, because no one will give a mortgage on these condos. So if they wanted to sell their condo, they can only sell to a cash buyer, right? Which limits their buyer pool. Yep. They can't refinance their homes because no one will give a new mortgage on it. It's really, these things are really costly. Yes. And really big problem.
Important to know.
Point number 2 that people overlook that is a costly mistake is if you buy a home with old windows. So those old single pane aluminum, even if they're double pane, but if they're aluminum around the sides. Yes, you want vinyl or wood windows. They keep in they're insulated way better. Yes. But a lot of homes, especially in the Denver area, still have these older windows. Right? And these older windows, it's a costly mistake because, I'm not kidding, your heating and cooling bills will be like hundreds of dollars higher every month, right? Because your windows are not well insulated, right? So it's not keeping the heat in, it's not keeping, your air conditioning in, right? It's, it's going to cost you hundreds more every month. Yep. And then also people don't realize how expensive windows are. The cost of windows is wild.
Yes.
It will cost you, I mean, anywhere from $40,000. Yeah, $40,000 over $100,000. You know, in a big house, it could be, you know, north of that.
Way
to replace all the windows. For like an average size window, it's like $2,000 per window.
Yeah, let's be clear here.
Per window. And like if you have a sliding glass door, those are $4,000. So, and if you have custom size windows or custom, you know, shapes of windows, it's even more. So it's just very, very expensive.
Yes.
If you buy a house, you know, it's something people don't notice, especially if you're buying a home for the first time. You know, if everything else is updated, really cute, windows are not something people notice.
No, you walk right by them.
We always point them out though. They're dealing with us. We do. Because we will not let you.
We noticed it.
But just know that, windows, you know, to replace windows in a house, you're looking at tens of thousands of dollars or hundreds of dollars more per month on your heating and cooling bills.
Yes. And to our point number 3 that really ties in well with these is baseboard heating.
Yes. It's baseboard heating. You'll see them, you know,
little paneling all
around in every room, and that's where the heat comes from.
Correct.
Oh, these are electric baseboard heating we're talking about.
Yes.
So you find a lot like in rural areas.
Yes, like more mountain homes, I feel like.
A lot of mountain homes. I grew up, my parents' house has them.
My mom's house has
them.
They have their pros and they have their cons, but I feel like it's very easy. It heats very quickly. Very quickly it does. So in the mountains where my mom lives, you know, her living room isn't super large and it heats up like that. I mean, it's instant. The downside is her lower level, her basement level is a large, expansive room, kind of like the one that we're standing in. It takes forever to heat the entire room. It takes such a long time because the air does not circulate. So that heat just takes longer and longer to kind of crawl out from those baseboards and heat the entire room. So it's very costly. On top of that, if you have little kids, they cannot go touching these baseboards. I actually,
they'll burn you. You can't put anything up against them.
No,
caught one of my stuffed animals.
I was just going to say,
back in the day,
I've seen articles with things like a plant, flammable, like a dying plant, caught on fire. So again,
but the reason they're costly also is because they're electric. It's not energy efficient.
No.
Forced air, which is, you know, when you have heating from vents in your floor or ceiling that come from your furnace and you have ductwork all throughout your house.
Right.
Push the heat through.
Right.
That's much more energy efficient.
Yes.
And doesn't use as much energy, which in turn lowers your monthly electric and gas bills.
Right.
As we're baseboard heating, crank those up. Yes. Hundreds of dollars. Again, hundreds of dollars more per month. Yep. God help you if you have baseboard heating and old windows. I mean, easily you could spend.
Good luck to you.
Your utility bill would be $500-$600 for like a small house.
It's a great time.
So it's expensive every month. It's an added cost. And also, if you ever wanted to replace those baseboard heating with forced air, it's also very, very expensive.
Yes.
Because you have to add all the ductwork and the vents throughout the entire home. Right. So it's really a lot.
Keep that in mind.
Costly mistake number 4,
commute.
Let's talk about commute. So this is actually the biggest mistake that I see home buyers making is they fall in love with like a house, you know, that's really cute, been updated really nicely. Looks great and it's move-in ready. But it's a half an hour from their work. Yes. In the Denver area, traffic is a real thing. It is a thing. And in the mornings and in the evenings. So mornings, evenings, if you're commuting during rush hour or even in the middle of the day, it's the
25 to the 225 truly by like 1:30 there will be bumper to bumper traffic.
Hey everyone. Okay, so I just want to show you, this is live traffic of the Denver area. It is right now around 4:11 p.m. here in the Denver area. And as you can see, the red is where traffic is moving, you know, somewhat slowly. So anywhere along I-25 here, I-70 going out east to the airport can be really bad areas. Also I-225 here, that goes from North Aurora, which is up here, and connects down to Inglewood, Centennial, all that. 225 is always backed up. So as you can see, these are like the hot spots. So when you're picking, where you have to commute to, if you are anywhere along I-25, especially through Denver, it's going to be a rough commute, especially during rush hour. East I-70, 225. The green, this out here, this is E470. E470 is the toll highway, and it's normally doesn't have traffic because it's a toll highway. You can get the E-passes, and that is a really great option, especially to get to the airport if you live down in Parker, or even up north, like from Louisville, Superior, Lafayette, and Boulder. That's, your best bet to get to the airport or, the other side of town and avoid a lot of the traffic. C470 right around here does get backed up around rush hour times. It's really actually, anywhere from here, it's going to be bad. And then C470 along the west side over here by Morrison, because it bottlenecks from 3 lanes into 2 lanes on a couple bridges, is going to be bad. So when you're thinking of your commute, look at these areas, and you can pull this up actually on yourself. Just Google Maps and type in Denver, and you can see it. So this is right now, and then you can also see you can change it. So you can go from live traffic to typical traffic. And so it goes away. I don't know. Oh, here we go. Okay. So like in the Monday mornings, that's where things, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Monday mornings, that's where things, even at 6 a.m. are there. And then as you go, 8 a.m. is kind of like the peak rush hour time. So again, any of these same areas are going to be C470 along over here, like where I live. That also gets backed up in the mornings. And then, as you go on through the day, it gets greener towards the middle of the day. And then around noon, and this is typical traffic. So this changes with seasonality. And then the rush hour kind of starts around, honestly, like 3:30. This is 2. That's 2 o'clock. But then as you go closer to 4 o'clock, that's 3:30, 4 o'clock, and then 5 o'clock. And honestly, probably, until 6 o'clock is really and even at 6, it's still not great. So know that those are the main hot spots of traffic in Denver. So you can kind of play with that and see. I'm going to go back to so live traffic. I mean, this is really much more typical of what it's like. I wouldn't, if I can help it at all, I'm not going anywhere near this area of town during rush hour if I can help it. Over here is also bad. And here is just, it's honestly just miserable. It's truly a miserable thing. I really try not to go there if I don't have to. So hope this helps when, deciding where you guys want to live. And remembering that, the commute times here in Denver can really impact your daily life.
And why this is a costly mistake is it doesn't really cost you more dollars. It costs you more in your gas and whatever. Right. But a lot of people are like, oh, I'm okay with a 30-minute commute, or I'm okay with a 45-minute or an hour commute because I love this house. Yes. But studies have even shown that overall happiness, people with longer commutes their overall life satisfaction and happiness is much lower than people with shorter commutes. You will actually be happier in the long run if you choose a house that has an uglier bathroom or an uglier kitchen or something like that than if you pick that close to your job, your kids' schools, your friends, whatever it is, than if you pick the pretty house far away. It's the biggest mistake that we see people make. Yes. And then how it gets costly is I see this happens a lot. We've had clients, they buy a house, they love it. And then they call us a year later and they say, we can't handle the drive anymore. We hate it. And then they have to sell their house within like a year or two. And a lot of times if you buy a house and then turn around and sell it within a year, you haven't, grown enough equity in it. So after you pay commissions and closing costs and all that stuff, you're actually losing money. And then you have to pay, moving costs, all that stuff. Right. So you're actually losing money if you buy and, or have to sell within a year. Yes.
So take into your account your location when you're looking, and we would love to help you with that. We are licensed agents in the state of Colorado. So call or email us, text us, and you'll always get one of us.
And we'd be happy to help you find like a middle ground, great house, but also like just you should give it a lot of weight. You should give the location probably the most weight when it comes into your decision making.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So number 5 is, we see this a lot, especially with people buying new builds, is do not max out your budget with just the sales price of the house.
There's so much more.
Do it. Even on resale. Yes. Like you want to pay the price of the home, but there is more fees. And we see this especially in new builds, because with a new build, you pay there's your base price and they jack it all up. But you also have to pay when you move in. And we're not even talking your loan closing costs or any of that. We are talking
about strictly the home.
Yes, in particular. So new builds do not come with any window coverings or blinds.
None.
That's expensive. Several $1,000s to put blinds in a house. Yes. New builds also don't come with any landscaping. Nope. So you will literally have a backyard with a mud pit, dirt, mud. If you have a dog, you're going to have a dirty house all the time. Yep. Until you spend the money to put sod in or a patio or whatever. Yep. So you're going to need some money for that. Yep. Also, a lot of new builds don't come with refrigerators or washers and dryers or washers and dryers. It's been a long day. Yeah, it has. But washers and dryers, refrigerators, that'll run you another $6,000 to get all 3. Yep. So do not max out your budget on just the home price.
Yes. On top of that, there's also, if you move to a community that has a homeowners association, that is going to be taken out of just it's either quarterly, maybe annually, monthly. It all varies. And there's also a metro district that comes up.
Yeah, there's property taxes. There's all kinds of extra fees that go into a house other than just the purchase price. Yes. So make sure that you give yourself enough wiggle room, that you're comfortable taking on all those things, expenses.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah. Food for thought. So there you have it. 5 costly mistakes that we want to help you guys avoid. And if you have more questions or think about moving in the Denver area, give us a call. We'd love to help out.
Yes. We put out 2 videos every single week.
Yes, we do.
And please hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah. Bye.